Hey guys, welcome to this video on 30A and me explaining what 30A is. Now, just to give you some background on why I'm doing this, 30A has certainly evolved. This is 2022 when I'm shooting this video, and I've been living here now for 15 years. 15 years ago, we really weren't as pronounced on 30A like we are now. 30A was the beach road that went between Destin, Florida and Panama City Beach, Florida. But it's certainly evolved, and with some local people like Mike Ragsdale with the 30A brand, we've got 30A beer. It's really exploded into a brand all to itself, and it's amazing how that stretch of road has become what 30A has become today. So I've had a front row seat having an office there for 15 years selling real estate, and I kind of want to walk you down 30A because there's some local lingo, talk to you about each of the pockets, show you how it goes, and hopefully this can serve as a guide to kind of help you with not only enjoying 30A, whether you're on vacation, but also certainly from a real estate perspective, what it can provide. So I'm going to share the screen here and I've got a map for you. It's going to really kind of walk you along. And what I'm going to do is start from the west going east. So 30A itself is a 24-mile stretch of highway right along the beach, stretching really on the east side of Sandestin all the way down to what's called Inlet Beach area. So here's Sandestin. 30A starts right here and rolls all along the beach, all the way right here, just past Rosemary into Inlet Beach. And that 24 miles is some of the most unique roadway that you can go down because of what's been developed along 30A. And I'm gonna walk you through that. So let's start on the west. And one of the first stops you come to and what that area is called on the west side, Dune Allen. And Dune Allen isn't necessarily one of the neighborhoods where you check in at a gate or anything like that. It's just that area on the west end. And when you come through there, your introduction is very much an old Florida style. We have many Gulfront homes that are still up on pilings, a lot of cinder block homes still in that area, but you'll certainly be greeted with some incredible new homes. Some of the 10-bedroom larger vacation rentals have made their way into this area. So it's a little bit of everything. It's also a little bit slower pace. I live not too far from this area, so I enjoy it. I bike to the beach almost every morning. The pace for my kids is good, getting around. So it's a nice slower pace versus some of the busier sections that we'll get to. It's also home to some of the more popular landmark restaurants such as Stinky's on the extreme west end, and then Shunk Gulley, which has been one of the more popular as we move a little bit to the east. So Dune Allen is what kicks it off. Now, I want to talk to you about Santa Rosa Beach. This is one of the biggest misconceptions along 30A. This area that I'm circling, all of up to around Seacrest, up through Point Washington, North Santa Rosa Beach, all this has the same zip code, Santa Rosa Beach 32459, including Grayton Beach, including WaterColor. All these have Blue Mountain Beach. It's all Santa Rosa Beach. So I've had people call me and go, hey, Casey, where can we go and visit the town of Santa Rosa Beach? Well, it's more about the zip code. It's more about all this is Santa Rosa Beach. And then we have these little pockets of communities within Santa Rosa Beach, okay? The closest thing to it from where Santa Rosa Beach was established is around the Gulf Place area, which is right over in this area here on the west end. There's a road 393 that runs north. And really the central point of that is that Shunk Gulley restaurant. Fabulous beach access is there. That's another nice thing about the west end of town. There's a lot more density provided to parking spaces, things like that at our public beach accesses, and you can get some incredible views. So that's Dune Allen through really Gulf Place area. Now the next stop on the tour kind of comes into Blue Mountain. If you're familiar with the area, my office sits close to Blue Mountain, around that Draper Lake area. You see these little bodies of water all along the coast here. That is very unique to our area. Those are coastal dune lakes. So you might be driving around 38 and it looks like, oh, there's a lake. And then you're like, oh, there's another lake, another lake. There's plenty of them. The dune lakes are an integral part of our area, and you'll see a lot of them here in Blue Mountain. Casey, why is it called Blue Mountain? It's actually home to the highest point on the US Gulf of Mexico in terms of elevation. It gets to around 62 feet at the peak in Blue Mountain Beach. So if you go to Bella Vita, which is a condo complex, they sit up on such a high bluff that if you look down to the steps going down to the beach, I mean, it looks pretty steep. You don't realize it really when you're driving by, but there is serious elevation, thus called Blue Mountain Beach. We've even got some Gulfront homes in this area. I currently have one listed at White Cliffs. You're not required to have flood insurance due to the elevation in that area. So let's keep traveling east. We're going to keep going. There's a nice stretch of road here, great for biking, really low density, some private neighborhoods. And then we're going to get to an area, which is one of my favorites. This is Grayton Beach. Grayton Beach, you can't really see it right on 30A because they've got Grayton General Store that greets you at a great four-way stop. You want to travel south about a mile and you'll spill out on one of our most amazing beaches, one of our biggest depth beaches. Grayton Beach is unique for a variety of reasons. For one, it was first established in 1885. It kind of went back and forth and really kind of saw a boom of people actually coming to visit at World War II because some military and families started kind of setting up shop there. And then they began to plat it out, gaining popularity for folks coming down once they carved out some better roads that came in through there. But Grayton Beach has done a really good job of establishing itself and keeping a really old Florida timeless feel with incredible views. It's home to Red Bar, which back in the 30s, that same location the Red Bar is, was actually a town hall where people from the surrounding area would drive to use as a dance hall. And if you're familiar with Red Bar at all, it's still very much a dance hall. It's a great place to eat. One of the most unique you'll find anywhere. Burnt down about 5 years ago. They built it back to feel like its old self. So then we go down the road, and the next stop after you get through Grayton Beach is WaterColor. I believe they broke ground 1999, laying everything out, and the first construction of homes was in the year 2000. This is one of the big first projects for the St. Joe Company, who certainly have their footprint all over 30A. But WaterColor has really become one of the most popular vacation spots. It's got a great beachfront, newly constructed beach club that accommodates all of those houses that have really grown through there. So really popular spot. Then we spill over, and if you've driven through there, WaterColor and Seaside absolutely connect to each other. There's barely a fence to separate them, but you will notice a change in style and you will notice a change in signage because Seaside, when it comes to their font, when it comes to their history, they're off on their own when it comes to that. So Grayton was started in 1895, but as far as making the area popular, Seaside has always been the staple of why people started coming to 30A. Robert Davis first got this land in 1978, and the first cottage, I believe, was built in 1981. And he laid out this master plan that he absolutely saw the vision for, laid it out, built it, and still very much involved in that entire vision today. It's been the subject of movies like The Truman Show, and it is one of the most unique and iconic spots anywhere in the South. If you go anywhere in any airport, I would almost bet you that you're going to see people wearing Seaside shirts, and it's a must stop. Anytime anybody's in town, they're going to do at least one night in Seaside, especially if you have kids, especially if you have teenagers. That is where they gather. Incredible architecture, incredible things to do in the evening, concerts. It's just as unique as it gets anywhere you can visit. So then as we continue to head east, we've got WaterColor Seaside. Once you get outside of Seaside, you automatically know it because the architecture changes. And you start seeing more canopy trees and big oaks and things like that. And you run into Seagrove. Now, some of these homes in this area were first established in 1940. And as you travel along 30A right on the beach road there, you can still see some cinder block homes that were built in the 50s that are hanging on. But you'll see plenty of new homes as well. A lot of people love Seagrove. There's a lot to love about it. One, they love all the trees and stuff that are still there. There's still a lot of dirt roads that make it completely unique. There's a good balance of brand new, amazing homes with some timeless older architecture. But also the county did a really good job of securing an amazing amount of beach access points all throughout Seagrove. You can go every couple of blocks and really come on a great beach access. The one thing to look for is the county sign that shows you the beach access points because there's not a lot of parking for them. And I like that because what that gives you is it's for the people that own there or stay around that particular area around that beach access. So if you're staying in Seagrove or you're owning in Seagrove, you're a little bit protected for how many people can use the beach access. Another little confusion, Seagrove is accounted for by a large stretch of beach. You can see this big gap between Seaside on the map all the way down to WaterSound that I'll be talking to you next. It is a lot of mileage. It's probably 3-mile stretch there where you just see separate neighborhoods, different architecture, different beach accesses. It's a really nice balance of a lot of different things. And that area, a lot of people feel like Seagrove is really the largest section of 30A, and I think they're right. The next stop that you come to where you feel like you've stumbled upon another community is the community of WaterSound. WaterSound actually started selling lots in 2002. So this would be the second large development that St. Joe had a fingerprint on. And what makes WaterSound unique, WaterSound is really the only one on the beach side that has a gated entrance. If we're talking about Seaside, WaterColor, Grayton, even when we talk about Alys and Rosemary in a minute, WaterSound is the only one that's gated. So because of that, what we saw early on is a lot of people doing full-time living in this community. But it was certainly set up as a vacation spot, beach community, just like all the other ones. One of the most unique things I like is the amount of Gulf frontage that this community has. It's over a mile. And they did an amazing job creating these pathways through boardwalks and really protected the dunes in there. So you get some pictures out of the Gulf front at WaterSound that you cannot replicate anywhere else, just because St. Joe did an amazing job of protecting all that dune structure and providing the largest beach with the largest depth of any of our other communities. It's amazingly well done, great architecture in there. But if you love the dunes, if you love the landscape, WaterSound is an amazing spot to check out. So we go through another stretch after you leave WaterSound, and this is that gray area. A lot of people still call a lot of this past WaterSound Seagrove, but what we're coming into is Seacrest. And so you've got Seacrest as an overall kind of community, but a lot of people know Seacrest Beach as a specific community. And what I mean by that is there's a large area in between WaterSound and Seacrest Beach, the community, that people call Seacrest. And when you're driving down 30A, you'll come along a high lifeguard stand. That is the signal to let you know you come across Seacrest Beach, the community. That community is home to many homes, great vacation rentals, and the largest community pool on 30A. But this area just to the west of it and in between WaterSound is also called Seacrest. You'll find a wide variety of Gulfront townhomes from the 80s, older Gulfront homes from the 60s, brand new condos. So it's just a nice mixture of everything that you can come to. So you got WaterSound, Seacrest, and then we're gonna, right when you get into this Seacrest area, you're gonna come across what has become one of the most popular locations anywhere in the country due to the incredible architecture and the quality of construction, and that's Alys Beach. Alys Beach is all entirely fortified construction. It's as good as you can do on the Gulf front. This type of architecture that you see there is brought in people with architects from San Francisco and all over the country, and those people have followings, and it's been amazing to see the growth that has come from Alys Beach. I remember even during the recession, I was here in the recession, I was here for the oil spill in 2010. And what I tell people about Alys Beach, even back then, they never dropped their prices. They're an extremely well-established group, and they have really saw their vision come to life, and you're starting to see the entire beachfront now developed out. So people love to go through there and take pictures, see the amazing architecture. And over the last couple of years, they've added some amazing dining options that are great for the public to go and experience Alys. So then we're going to roll right into Rosemary Beach. Rosemary Beach was established, let me get this right, 1995. The big difference between Alys and Rosemary is that Rosemary is pretty much built out. There may be a few lots left that people are hanging on to in Rosemary Beach, but it is well developed. They have an incredible town center that is completely unique to them. And it's been one of the most fun things to watch that community kind of come together in that town square. Now you have amazing condos. The amount of options for dining and nightlife and things like that. Now it's a beach town. When I say nightlife, I'm talking like 10 p.m. But the entire park your car for a week and there's plenty to do by foot is certainly alive and well in Rosemary. And now what we've got right here at the end of Rosemary, you come into Inlet Beach, and Rosemary is where the connection from the west to the east end meet. And they've put an amazing outdoor, let's call it an outdoor shopping mall, from lack of a better term, called 30 Avenue. And that's kind of become the gateway to the east end of 30A. It's got amazing places to eat, amazing shopping, but also they put in an underground tunnel so that you can actually go under main highway 98 from Rosemary Beach and come up over at 30 Avenue for the shop. That's kind of the gateway now to the east end. So That's kind of the flow on how everything goes. And I'm going to do a deep dive on each of these communities, but I like to walk people through kind of how you get from point A to point B and a little bit about them. There's really only one way to get a feel for it is to drive through there. And what I want to give you today is just an overlook of how 38 flows, what the 24 miles all entails, and hopefully lay out the uniqueness of, I'm not just talking about these little small areas. These are very pronounced areas with completely unique architecture and style all on this stretch of highway. It's truly amazing. Once you sprinkle in the dune legs and all the other various communities, you can literally come to 30A, stay in 7 different communities, have incredible experiences, and then figure out which one best fits your family for the future. What's your style? You like everything around you, want it a little busier? The East End is a little bit more compact and more things to do, probably closer by foot. The West End, a little slower pace. May not have as many amenities as the East End, but myself, I enjoy the slower pace. But I live here full time. This is a very high level view, but I wanted to give you just a flow on a map of what 30A is, how it came to be, and just brag on the uniqueness of it. As always, I am certainly here for any questions that you may have. We do this nonstop, and I will be laying out each community in a separate type of video. Until then, as always, let us know if you have any questions.